If Warren Buffett would come to you and say that he has an investment opportunity, number one, in that investment, he would guarantee that whatever capital you invest, he will assure you that you will never lose it. Guaranteed capital savings. On top of that, he promised 40% returns on the capital that you invested in his investment. And not only would you be relying on his prowess in investment to invest the money, but he was so confident in the investment that he said, not only will he guarantee the capital, but he also underwrites and guarantees the 40% return on the capital as well. How much of your savings would you want to give to that investment? I assume, if you're sane and normal, every single cent. Warren Buffett is backing the investment. He's guaranteeing you won't lose the money. He's guaranteeing you a 40% return. And if it doesn't make that return, he will pay it out. There can be no better investment in the world than that. We'll return to Mr. Buffett in a moment. In the meantime, let's learn some Shulchan Aruch. I'd like to learn with you the Shulchan Aruch in the beginning of Hilchos Tzedakah. It's in Siman Reish Mem Zayin. The Shulchan Aruch says, Mitzvahs asay litein tzedakah kefi hasagas yad. There is a mitzvah from the Torah to give tzedakah, and you have to give in accordance with your ability. There's not just one Torah mitzvah to give tzedakah. Many times we're commanded from the Torah to give tzedakah. And there's also a negative commandment, a transgression, if you turn a blind eye from the needs that are there. Anybody who turns a blind eye from giving charity, Nikra Bli Ya'al, he's called the Bli Ya'al, and it's like you're worshipping idols. Interesting. Does that Gemara sound familiar that he's quoting? He's quoting the Gemara that we learned. Turn a blind eye from giving tzedakah. It's as if you're worshipping idols, and now you understand the Shulchan Aruch well and deep. But the Maharal's Moshel of the spring, understand it very, very well. No relationship to God. A person needs to be exceptionally careful with this mitzvah. Because it could be if you don't act in time, the poor person who's asking you for funds may die of starvation in the process. The Shulchan Aruch has laid out for us, based on the Gemara that we learned together, that giving tzedakah is a Torah commandment. Not giving tzedakah is a negative commandment. Not only that, a person who turns a blind eye is considered as if you're idol worshiper. You don't believe in God, don't have a relationship, no connection, no dependency on God. You have to be very careful with this mitzvah. Now the Shulchan Aruch continues, and I'm reading for you Shulchan Aruch. No fancy, achronim and agaditas and Shulchan Aruch, which we all live by, and the world is run on. Seif Beis says the Shulchan Aruch, Le'olam ein adam me'ani min tzedakah. You will never ever become poor from giving tzedakah. V'loi davar ra v'loi hezek mizgalgal al yoda. Nothing bad will ever happen as a byproduct of giving tzedakah. Whenever you think in your head, oi, what's going to be if I give this money away? Will I have enough for myself? It says Hashem in the Shulchan Aruch, you never have to worry about that. Hashem guarantees you that you will not lose as a result of this money that you're giving away to tzedakah. Aleph. I see that as a capital guarantee. What you give away, You will not lose. You will be repaid. In other places, the Gemara, the Maharal explains, the money you give to the poor is like a loan that you've made to God. That's the way it works. And there's no being that is more reliable and dependable to settle his debts than Hashem. All those fears that are conjured up inside of you, that's just your chemdas mama not wanting to let go of the money, but they're unfounded. Nothing bad will happen. Shneimar, it's a posuk. Hashem wrote it in His Torah. V'haya ma'aseh tzedakah sholem. Only sholem can be a byproduct of the act of giving tzedakah. In Sif Daled, the Shulchan Aruch says as follows: HaTzedakah doiches ha'gzeiros ha'kashois. Tzedakah pushes aside all harsh decrees that a person could chas v'sholem have on themselves. Ubera'av tatzil mimovis, k'mo she'ira letzarfis. And in a time when there's economic down, when there's starvation and hunger around, and businesses are not functioning, yours will. Bera'av tatzil mimovis. When everyone else is suffering, the fact that you are committed to the mitzvah of tzedakah, that will save you as a stand-alone yochid in circumstances where your finances should deplete. That's incredible protection. Who could wish for an insurance policy better than that? But that when business takes a downturn, yours won't. That's the byproduct of tzedakah. And the Ramah adds here, V'hi me'asheris. And tzedakah makes you rich. In the Shulchan Aruch, in the Ramah, codified for all time. And you're not allowed to test God in anything except in this. Shenemar ubechanuni na bezois. I beg of you, please test me in this. The Ramah is quoting our Gemaras that we've learned into the Shulchan Aruch. The Yesh Omrim, says the Ramah, there is a Yesh Omrim, Dafka benesinas maise muter lenasos HaKadosh Baruch Hu, aval lo b'shar tzedakah. The Ramah brings down that there is a shitta that holds that this permission to test God, that the giving of your maisa will make you wealthy, that permission to test is only in crops. But in maisa and tzedakah, which you give from your properties, from your business endeavors, there you're not allowed to test. But of course, the fundamental principle that giving it will make you rich still applies completely. So the Shulchan Aruch is promising incredible wealth that will come to a person from giving this tzedakah away. Now let's put the picture together here. We've learned the Gemaras. We see it brought down in the Shulchan Aruch. Number one, when you give tzedakah, you will never lose the money. Never. It will always come back to you. That's the basic promise of Hashem, codified in the Shulchan Aruch. And not only that, says Hashem, this tzedakah will make you rich. It's the best investment you could ever make. The returns are unimaginable. 40% is tiddlywinks in comparison to what you're going to make from the investment you make in the mitzvah of tzedakah. How much would be prepared to give to this mitzvah? To Warren Buffett's theoretical investment proposal, we would have thrown everything at it. I've got news for you. The reason why we would throw all our money at it is because we think he's got a big bank account and he's got great investment advice, and therefore our investment's totally secure because it's backed by his money, and he'll put it in the best places because he understands investments better than anybody. Nobody in the world understands how to invest your money better than God. And nobody has deeper pockets than Hashem. And Hashem says, I promise you the capital. And I promise you not 40% returns. I promise you, you will become wealthy from this mitzvah. And I will look after you when the whole economy turns bad. Your business won't. I will look after you. I run this world. And all the resources at my disposal. And the gap between our excitement to invest in Warren Buffett's investment and God's investment is bridged by something very special called emunah, when you can actually place your trust in God more than you can place your trust in Warren Buffett and his resources and his understanding of the world of investments. That's the bridge that will make you an incredible investor in the mitzvah of tzedakah. And that's what it means to do business with emunah. That pit in your tummy to take the plunge, to go with God, to go with His suggestion, with His guidelines of where to put your money. That's called emunah. I've been upset many times by people who, in difficult financial situations, who come to me and say they asked their Rav, and their rabbi said, look, their finances are very difficult and challenging. They only have to give the bare minimum of tzedakah. What the Shulchan Aruch will learn in upcoming shir, the basic minimum annual amount, it's peanuts. That's all they have to give because they're in difficult times. Are you mad? Does that rabbi have no guts? Does he not believe in his own Torah which he preaches every single week? The Torah says that the way to become wealthy, the way to sort out your finances is to invest in tzedakah. The last thing that person should give up is the money that they give to tzedakah. Everything else they should cut back on, but not tzedakah. That's the lifeline of hope, of turning around their financial situation. It's an explicit Gemara. It's a Gemara in Gittin, Daf Zayin Amud Aleph. The Gemara says as follows: Dorosh Rav Avira. Rav Avira taught, Zimnin amalei mishmei Rav Ami, v'zimnin amalei b'shmei Rav Asi. Sometimes he taught it in the name of Rav Ami, and sometimes he taught this drosh in the name of Rav Asi. Either which way, he learned it from one of his rebbes. Mai tichsiv, what does it mean in the pasuk? Koi amar Hashem, so says Hashem. Im shleimim, v'chein rabim, v'chein nigoizu v'ovar. What does it mean? Whether you are shalem or whether you are rabim, you must cut off. Says Rav Avira, Im roye Adam, shemazonoisav mitzumtzamim. If a person sees that their finances are very, very tight, yaseh mehem tzedakah. Use the money to give to tzedakah. V'kol shekain kashehem merubim. And how much more so when you've got a lot of money? Yes, that's in line with everything we've understood about this mitzvah. How he learns the pasuk, I'll share with you. V'chein shleimim, says Rashi, whether you are shalem, Rashi says, means mitzumtzam, you've got nothing left over, you only have exactly what you need. V'chein rabim, or if you have excess resources, v'chein nigoizu, both of those people should cut apart some of their income for tzedakah. Tzedakah is an obligation, whether your money is mitzumtzam, whether it's very tight, and especially if it's in excess, because it is the key to future financial success. How can a rabbi advise a person whose finances are tight to stop giving tzedakah? You are sending them into an eternal pit of irrecoverability financially. This is the greatest gift that God gave us. He gave us a mitzvah, which is so important to Him, to look after His children. That as a result of it, we earn incredible eternal reward. But as a byproduct, He promises us time and time again, you will never lose from this investment. I will look after and protect you financially. It is the key to Hashem showering me with financial blessing ad bli dai.